Hey ladies and gentlemen, Ken Tizzard here. It is the morning after the last of the Monday nights, which we had at Capers this year. A lot of fun. We decided to help kill off the winter by doing every Monday night in this little tiny restaurant in town called Capers, run by Chef Dorset. I called my people, Jeremy at Long McQuaid. Jeremy's my people. I called Jeremy and said, Jeremy, we're doing this little show. We just need a little tiny PA for it, something that's easy and something that's going to carry the weight. And he recommended this little beauty here. This is one of the Yorkville. I'll give you a little sort of walkthrough on it because it's quite an interesting little unit. It's just a little Yorkville all-in-one PA. It's actually battery powered. And let's go over here and have a little look and see what it does. Oh, there we go. So you have 3 inputs on it and a master, and then the power. This thing is also, as you see right now, it's not plugged in. There is no plug there. This thing actually charges and works on battery. So that's kind of a cool thing too. You've got a very basic EQ on them. You've got level, shape, and reverb. The reverb is a standard reverb. The shape goes from speech to music. And basically what happens is it just adds a bunch of low end, a bunch of bass. So if you've got an instrument plugged into it or you're singing through it and everything is just, you can clean it up with this shape button here, which is really nice. If you are putting a guitar through it, an acoustic guitar, you can select acoustic guitar and you can grab a notch for a notch filter, which is nice. They have that on one channel. Now this is a 3-channel PA, so it's really good for an acoustic act. But we were doing full band, so what we did was we took 2 of these and just ran them together using this, the main output, main input. So whatever you run from, you just run an XLR from this one to another one of these, having 2 of them, put them on speaker stands on either side of the stage area, and you immediately have a nice little setup suddenly with 6 inputs. You get these 3 and you get the other 3, and all the audio from all 6 come through both speakers. So it's a really nice rig. I didn't try the Bluetooth, but I'm sure it works just fine. It's a great quality rig. It's really light too, like 2 of them, like you can see how big it is with my hand. It's not a big speaker. It projects really well for vocals and acoustic. We even had a little bit of bass going through it, which is nice. I did find that the inputs where there's no trim control, at times the acoustic guitar would sort of break up the input a little bit, even if you turn down the level here, but it's the preamp before it goes into the input that was sort of hitting out. So if you have any issues with distortion, like what we did was just turn down the actual volume on the guitar so that the level going in didn't sort of blow up the preamp, and that cleaned everything up. So that was the only issue that I found with anything sonically. The other thing that I wish, all these little knobs here have little center detents, which is great. And there actually is no detent on the in the center. So you've got to go either all the way to one side or the other before there's any sort of stop. The problem with these that I find is when you're in a dark situation, like on a stage, without a little tiny piece of white paint in there, these things here are impossible to see where they are. And you've got this big light here. When these lights here don't seem that bright, but I tell you, when you're in a dark room and you're trying to look around the back, all you see is that green. It really kind of blinds you. So that's my only problems with it, and that's really sort of cosmetic type of stuff. It is a wonderful little unit. It is the Yorkville EXM Mobile 8. They also make this in a trainer enclosure as well, which is quite cool. It's a great little rig, a good little rental for a weekend if you're doing a little sort of coffee shop or an acoustic singer-songwriter thing. I wouldn't recommend it in a loud bar above sort of 40 people. It gets hard to push out the volume at that point. But great rig. Thank you to Trainer in Yorkville for supporting the Monday nights here in town. And this is a great little rig. I recommend it to everybody. Cheers.